Okay, so here's the thought. What if I told you that successfully losing a whole bunch of weight, the thing we're always told is fantastic, could actually speed up how fast you age? Like biologically. Would you even believe that? I mean, come on. We've basically been trained since day one. Lose weight, live longer, feel amazing, right? It's supposed to be simple math. But
Right.
what if that number you see on the scale is just, well, a really terrible way to track what's actually going on? Yeah, let's maybe unpack this because
Yeah.
it seems we might have been celebrating a kind of loss that's maybe even dangerous.
That's spot on. We're really going deep today into why preserving your lean muscle mass is just supremely important,
Hmm.
especially as you get older.
Yeah.
When you look at everything you could do for longevity,
Mm.
tweaking your diet, all the supplements, keeping your muscle, that's not just on the list. Our sources are basically screaming that muscle preservation is right at the absolute top. What kind of tissue you lose or manage to keep, it matters infinitely more than just the pounds.
And this isn't just like a problem for folks in their 90s who are getting frail. The scary part is this whole slide downhill. It starts way earlier than you'd think. Peak muscle is usually late teens, maybe early 20s.
Yep, that's about right.
And then for most of us, the subtle shrinking, the atrophy, it kind of kicks in during our 30s. It's like putting your muscles into retirement decades too early.
Which leads us straight into that really shocking trade-off, the one that's happening right now with the huge push for quick weight loss.
Ah, yes.
When people drop weight fast, maybe crash dieting or using some of those really popular hormonal treatments that are everywhere now,
Yeah.
that weight coming off, it's often a really risky mix. You lose fat, sure, but you lose a lot of muscle too. And look, these treatments, they can be amazing for managing blood sugar, seriously cutting down hunger, no question.
Uh-huh.
But they often come with this significant, really undesirable side effect, lean mass loss.
That's the catch. The fine print, nobody reads. You drop 40 pounds, you look fantastic in photos, but you've basically just raided your long-term health savings account.
Exactly. You've nailed it. And what's really quite unsettling is when you dig into the clinical trial data on this, some of the findings. They compared the muscle loss by patients using these drugs to the kind of natural muscle decline you'd normally see over maybe a decade or even more of just
Yeah.
typical aging.
Hold on, a decade.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask the question I know our listener is thinking. Is that gone forever? Or can you just, hit the gym hard and get it back quickly? If someone loses, say, 10 years worth of muscle in just 6 months on one of these things, can they reverse that damage in another 6 months?
That is the absolute critical question. And the answer is, well, muscle is recoverable. You can build it back. But the rate you build it back is almost always slower than the rate you lost it, especially as we age. It just gets harder. So when you compromise that much muscle that quickly, you put yourself in a really vulnerable spot metabolically. It creates this, you could call it metabolic debt. You've seriously undermined your long-term health prospects because the type of tissue you lost really, really matters.
Okay, so we need to give this enemy a name. Let's get formal for a second. The villain. Sarcopenia. Sounds dramatic, like something out of a myth, right? But it just means age-related muscle loss. And apparently, it's official when you've lost about 20% or more of the muscle you started with. The average figures are just, wow, someone hitting 80. They've typically lost about half the muscle they had in their 20s, 50%. Your engine's half gone.
Right. And we should probably clarify something here, technically, because there are kind of two main types of muscle wasting people talk about. Sarcopenia is that slow, steady, age-related decline we're focusing on. But it's important to distinguish it from cachexia, C-A-C-H-E-X-I-A.
Cachexia.
Got it.
Got it.
That's the really devastating rapid muscle loss you see with chronic illnesses, like advanced cancer, for instance. The body basically panics, perceives this deep survival crisis, and starts actively stealing protein from the muscles. It needs fuel for the immune fight, or, unfortunately, for tumor growth. It's like pathological muscle theft happening inside you.
Okay, so sarcopenia is the slow decay over time. Cachexia is like an emergency break-in and theft. Makes sense. But why? Why is losing muscle, even that slow sarcopenia kind, so bad internally? It can't just be about, struggling to open a pickle jar.
Oh, it's way beyond that. It throws your whole internal system into chaos. See, muscle isn't just for moving stuff around. It's basically an endocrine organ.
Yeah.
First off, it's absolutely critical for managing your metabolism, your muscle cells. They're the main customers for glucose from your blood. They help keep your blood sugar stable, efficient. They dictate how your whole body uses energy. So when sarcopenia kicks in and you have less muscle, your glucose control goes downhill fast. That skyrockets your risk for diabetes, messes with your immune system, and increases your overall mortality risk. If the engine can't manage its fuel right, The whole machine starts to sputter.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. And kind of flips things on their head. We always think of fat as our body's reserve, right? Like energy storage. But muscle is your body's emergency protein reserve. When your body's starving, or it desperately needs to heal from something big like surgery or an injury, where does it get the building blocks? It raids your muscles for protein. It's your survival piggy bank. And the cash is amino acids.
Absolutely essential. You have to think of that muscle reserve as the vital supply warehouse for your immune system. Every single piece of your defense force, your white blood cells, antibodies, all those repair enzymes, even blood clotting factors, it's all made of protein, pure protein. So if you get a bad infection or you have a major wound that needs healing, your body suddenly demands huge amounts of amino acids. And where does it get them? It pulls them straight out of your muscle tissue.
It's like the logistics department for staying alive.
Exactly. And there's another critical job it does called gluconeogenesis. Fancy word.
Gluconeogenesis, okay.
It just means making new sugar. See, some tissues, like parts of your brain, they only run on glucose. They can't use fat for fuel. So if you're fasting or you're in some kind of crisis and not getting carbs, your body needs glucose now. How does it make it? It takes those amino acids, stolen from your muscles, and turns them into brand new sugar. You literally need muscle to keep your brain fed and stay alive during a famine or after a bad accident.
Wow, so if you get sick and you don't have that muscle reserve built up, your immune system is basically running on empty. And your brain might be struggling for fuel, too. That's like trying to fight a war when the enemy already blew up your ammo dumps and food supplies.
And wait, there's more. You're saying it connects to the brain, too. Like neurotransmitters, the stuff that keeps your mood stable, your thoughts clear, they're made of protein. So having decent muscle mass is actually linked to, like, your mental state, your resilience. It really is. It's the ultimate fully integrated whole body survival system. Muscle is central to it all.
Okay. That's the scary part. Necessary doom and gloom, right? Establish the stakes. Now, the important bit. The muscle maintenance checklist. What do we do about it? Let's start with the tough love, the non-negotiable part.
The absolute non-negotiable is movement, or rather avoiding inactivity. Being sedentary is probably the deadliest habit you can adopt for your muscles.
Yeah.
Seriously, the worst thing you can do is just not move them. Think about that classic retirement picture, kicking back, watching TV all day. That's just signing a voluntary resignation letter for your muscle mass.
Yeah.
You need mechanical stress.
Okay, mechanical stress. What does that actually look like? Is my daily walk enough? Like a 30-minute stroll?
Look, a walk is fantastic, great for your heart, your head, lots of things. But to really fight back against sarcopenia, you need resistance. Resistance training, strength training, lifting heavy things relative to your ability. That's the most powerful weapon we have to reverse age-related muscle loss. And the goal isn't always about getting huge biceps, you know? It's about creating enough stimulus, enough stress that your muscles go, whoa, okay, we need to adapt, we need to repair and get stronger.
And that stimulus, that stress, it does more than just make your muscles bigger.
Oh, it does something pretty extraordinary, actually. When you push your muscles hard with intense exercise, they talk back to the rest of your body. They release these amazing little anti-aging molecules. We call them myokines, M-Y-O-K-I-N-E-S.
Myokines, okay.
Think of them like tiny messengers, little positive signals sent out into your bloodstream. They travel around, they help reduce inflammation everywhere, they can help manage pain, they even signal your bones to get stronger. They're like little bonus gifts from your workout to your longevity.
All right, so we've done the work, we've created the stress, the stimulus, we're releasing myokines, feels good. Now for the bit everyone seems to forget. Recovery. I'm going to make a pretty dramatic statement here, based on what we've seen. If you have insomnia, that is profoundly deadly to your muscles. Seriously, poor sleep will chew through your muscle mass faster, and maybe even more dangerously than eating a bad diet will.
And there's solid science behind that drama. It's not just fluff. You see, when you work out, you're actually breaking muscle tissue down slightly. You don't build it during the workout. All the repair work, all the building of new protein, basically all the benefits you worked for, that happens at night. While you're in deep sleep, that's when your body releases peak growth hormone. That's when the repair crews come out, metaphorically speaking, patch things up and build stronger structures. If you're stressed out, lying awake, or just getting fragmented, poor sleep. Those repair crews, they basically never clock in for their shift.
Right, and those repair crews, they need supplies. They need the raw materials. Which brings us back to protein. We need those high-quality amino acids for the rebuilding job. Now, I know some people listening might be squirming a bit right now because, well, we've been hammered for decades about certain foods being bad, especially as we age. What's the take on, say, red meat? The advice is usually avoid it.
Yeah, and our sources push back on that mainstream advice hard. They pretty bluntly state that the whole red meat causes cancer thing
Hmm.
is largely an unfounded myth, often based on flawed observational studies that don't control for other lifestyle factors. If your goal is maximizing muscle, good quality grass-fed beef, grass-fed lamb, these are fantastic sources. Top tier. They give you those complete amino acids you desperately need, and they come packaged with other vital stuff, like iron and B12. The message is, don't fear the fat, don't fear the protein if it's coming from good quality ruminant animal sources.
Huh. So the advice is basically start eating like a very well-informed, slightly grumpy Viking.
That's actually a pretty good description. And it's not just what you eat, but when. The timing of that protein is crucial. So your muscle cells, they can only really grab and use so much protein effectively in one go. Maybe 30, 40 grams, the exact number is debated,
Right.
but there's a limit. Anything extra beyond that, it mostly just gets burned for energy or stored differently. It doesn't go to muscle building. So the smart move is to spread your protein intake out. Aim for, say, 2 or ideally 3 protein-focused meals across the day. Keep that supply of amino acids topped up, available for your muscles to draw on whenever they need it.
That makes total sense. If you try and just slam like 80 grams of protein at dinner, that's not really efficient muscle building. It's just an expensive pee, maybe. And okay, follow-up question. What if you're trying this, you're eating your quality protein, but you find, especially as you get older, you just struggle to digest it. You feel heavy, bloated. Because stomach acid often declines with age, right? So the answer isn't stop eating protein, is it? It's fix the digestion.
Exactly. Help the factory process the fuel. That's a huge hack. Stomach acid tends to drop off for many people as they age. So taking something like betaine hydrochloride usually comes in capsules before you eat that steak or other big protein meal. It helps build that acid back up in your stomach. And that acid isn't just for breaking down the protein itself. It's absolutely vital for pulling out and absorbing key minerals too. Things like zinc, iron, which, guess what, are also super important for muscle health and function.
Okay, so we've got the main building blocks, resistance training, sleep, protein. Now, what about the supporting cast, the secret ingredients?
Mm.
If protein is the bricks, what's the mortar? What holds it all together and makes it work?
Right, we need the cofactors, the minerals, the compounds that help the whole process along. First up, let's talk collagen. People think skin, hair, nails, but guess what? About 30% of your actual muscle tissue is collagen and connective tissue matrix.
Yeah.
So supplementing with collagen isn't just vanity. It directly supports the structural integrity of the muscle itself.
So it's literally the glue holding the engine parts together. Okay.
Pretty much. Then there's magnesium. Specifically, magnesium glycinate is often recommended because it's well absorbed and gentle on the stomach. Magnesium is it's a superstar. It's involved in like over 300 different enzyme processes in the body, including muscle contraction, making energy ATP nerve signals. If you're low in magnesium, your ability to even do resistance training and recover from it is seriously hampered. And conveniently, the glycinate form also tends to help with sleep quality. So, bonus. Hits 2 targets at once.
Nice. The ultimate efficiency supplement. What else should be on our shopping list?
Well, we definitely can't forget vitamin D and zinc. Both are absolutely crucial. Vitamin D acts more like a hormone, involved in cell signaling, immune function. Zinc is key for repair, immunity. Then you get into other important trace minerals, selenium, copper. The B vitamins are essential for energy metabolism within the muscle cells. Coenzyme Q10, another energy pathway helper. Just a quick note on iron. Most people, especially men and postmenopausal women, get enough from red meat. Don't just start popping iron pills unless you've had blood tests showing you're actually deficient. Too much iron can be problematic.
Got it. Get iron from the grumpy Viking diet, not necessarily a pill. Okay, now, for the final piece, the one you flagged as the little cool thing, sounds almost like a weird biohack. We've covered the big rocks, lifting, sleeping, eating protein. What's this unexpected booster shot?
Yeah, this one is fascinating. It connects your gut directly to your muscles in a surprising way. We're looking at a specific type of cultured microbe, a bacterium called Lactobacillus ruteri. L. reuteri.
Yeah. Lactobacillus ruteri. Okay, a probiotic.
It's essentially, yeah. But this one seems to have some pretty unique system-wide effects. Research links this particular microbe pretty strongly with boosting your body's levels of oxytocin.
Oxytocin, isn't that the love hormone, like bonding and stuff?
It is, but it also plays a huge role in lowering stress, promoting calm, and that directly helps with, guess what? Sleep quality. But here's the really wild part. Some research suggests L-reuteri might have a direct effect on muscle itself, specifically increasing the number of muscle stem cells, the cells that repair and build new muscle tissue.
Whoa, hang on. A gut bacteria
Right.
that could potentially increase muscle stem cells. That sounds like something out of science fiction.
Doesn't it? It's like this unexpected secret weapon hiding out in your digestive tract. We even came across anecdotal reports, personal accounts of people gaining significant muscle, like one mentioning 6 pounds of lean mass, just from adding this specific microbe. No change to their workout routine, just the microbe. So if your gut health can help manage stress and potentially give a direct boost to the very building blocks of muscle,
Yeah.
well, that kind of changes the whole longevity game, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It connects everything back. So the big picture here. Longevity isn't really about just being skinny, is it? It's about being robust,
Yeah.
resilient, ready for whatever life throws at you.
Yeah.
That is the fundamental takeaway. Your muscle is your metabolic armor. It's your emergency health insurance policy. So your priorities, they should be crystal clear now. 1, consistent, challenging resistance exercise. Get that stimulus. Release those myokines. 2, high-quality protein timed smartly throughout the day, like making regular deposits into that amino acid bank account. And 3, fanatical prioritization of deep restorative sleep. That's when the magic happens. Those 3 pillars protect your immune system, fuel your brain under stress, and safeguard that vital survival reserve.
So anyone out there thinking getting older was just about, relaxing more, putting your feet up, yeah, apparently not. Seems it's more about acting like a stealth bodybuilder while you're asleep and eating like that grumpy, well-fed Viking who never skips his grass-fed steak. But seriously, folks, this isn't just about looking good in a t-shirt. This is about actual life insurance. Insurance against illness, injury, or just the metabolic curveballs life throws. So, final thought to chew on. If your muscles really are your emergency fund for healing and survival, what kind of interest rate are you getting on the deposit you made today?